All right, guys. So yesterday we talked about how Kamala Harris basically came out and said she's considering running again in 2028, which to me sounds like she made her mind up and she is going to run in 2028. That's how that sounds to me. That's certainly how that feels to me. And the point I made to Kamala is like, look, if you want to do that, you need to stop acting the way you're currently acting. I don't care about your fucking book tour. I don't care about you going to give a speech to a realtor group in Australia or whatever the fuck you did. You need to be out there fucking leading this fight. You need to be, joining the anti-oligarchy tour. You need to be campaigning for Zoran Mamdani, which she did not do. You need to be out there protesting with the anti-ICE protesters, willing to get fucking arrested to stand in solidarity. That's what you need to do. You need to show us that you're here for the fight, not just, every 4 years you pop up to try to win an election. And you need to live your values is the point. And if you're not doing that, then I'm sorry. People shouldn't be interested in voting for you because what you're saying is I care more about me and my career than I care about the people. The ones who are going to break through, the Democrats who are going to break through, will make it clear, no, I actually care about this country. I care about the people. Myself is I'm a secondary fucking thought. I'm an ancillary thought, right? Like, somebody who wants to become president to fix the country, not become president to be able to say, I'm president, right? So that was the advice to Kamala. Now we have another big name, heavy hitter Democrat who basically admits, like, yeah, I'm thinking about it. Let's watch. It's Gavin Newsom.
You're not afraid to go into red states?
No.
When I saw you slinging shots behind the coffee bar, I thought this guy might run for president.
I have no idea. The idea that a guy who got 960 on his SAT that still struggles to read scripts that was always in the back of the classroom, the idea that you even throw that out is in and of itself extraordinary.
Okay. Let me just start by saying this. Gavin, don't do this thing where you're like, me? I'm just a guy from humble beginnings who had, intellectual disabilities or whatever. Like, no, don't do that. If anything, you're going to have to lean into what everybody knows you are. There's that sleazy, like, car salesman vibe, which, by the way, no shade, because I was a car salesman myself at one point. There's, like, he gives off that vibe. Don't try to, and he did this, he was on a podcast the other day, and he was trying to act like he was, like, raised in poverty. It's like, no, you weren't, bro. You were very wealthy as a family as a kid. So, like, don't do this thing where you're trying to be something you're not. Like, to the extent people were to support Gavin Newsom, somebody made a great post the other day that was basically like, it's just the fact that he looks like a president straight out of central casting. And people after Trump's insanity will feel like, damn, I just want some shit that's not this. Give me the fucking standard looking politician who, like, was made for the job in a fucking lab. Do that. And unfortunately, it sounds to me like he's trying to run away from that and act like, I came from nothing and, man, I struggled in school and all this. It's like, bro, you don't have to do this. Stop.
I'm looking forward to who presents themselves in 2028 and who meets that moment. And that's the question for the American people.
Is it fair to say after the 2026 midterms, you're going to give it serious thought?
Yeah, I'd be lying otherwise. I'd just be lying. And I can't do that.
I'd be lying, and I can't do that, bro. There it is. He's basically saying, yeah, I'm going to run.
You have long said that if you ever run for the White House, you need a compelling why, a reason. Are you moving closer to figuring out your own why and your own decision?
Yeah, Nietzsche said if you have a compelling why, you can endure any how. And so I think the biggest challenge for anyone who runs for any office is people see right through you if you don't have that why. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so, that faith will determine that.
You certainly seem to like being on the ground in South Carolina, I have to say that. Seeing you up close, you were having a good time.
I happen to, and thank God, I'm in the right business. I love people. I actually love people.
So yeah, he looks like he's going to do it. Here's the thing, man. I really think we can do better than Kamala. I really think we can do better than Gavin Newsom. I mean, it's that simple, right? Gavin, let me give him his props in a certain way. The fact that he's been willing to step up and he's been willing to say, we're going to do Prop 50, however the Republicans gerrymander, I'm going to counter gerrymander. That's the sort of mindset that we need. That's the sort of fighting spirit that we need. The problem, the downside of Gavin Newsom is he's a corporate creature, right? In an era where we need a real lefty who's actually going to go to bat for the people and stand up against the billionaires, stand up against the corporations, he doesn't have that no billionaire, no corporations mindset, right? He is a creature of the system. He's a creature of the big money interests. And so he's comfortable taking corporate money. There was that clip that came out the other day of him being interviewed by Van Lathan, and Van Lathan said, "I won't for a Democrat who takes any money from AIPAC." And Gavin Newsom's like, interesting. I haven't even thought about AIPAC in fucking years, bro. I haven't even thought about AIPAC in years, bro. And it was just, it was a very clear sign that, like, he touched a nerve, Van Lathan did. Because, Newsom expects things to be sort of business as usual on the campaigning front, but it won't be, right? You're going to have a frothing at the mouth, radicalized in the positive sense, Democratic base that's going to want somebody who's anti-Trump in every imaginable way and is going to fight these assholes, but also represents our ideology, the counter right-wing ideology, a serious left-wing ideology. Namely, you need to be running on Medicare for all, you need to be running on free college, you need to be running on a living wage, you need to be running on the PRO Act so that everybody can join a union, you need to be running on fucking paid vacation time by law, or a 4-day work week, or universal basic income, social security for all. Like, you got to fucking swing for the fences. Repairing all the fucking damage that Trump did, being anti-war, seriously anti-war, against the Venezuela bullshit, against the genocide in Gaza. This is what we need. And with Gavin Newsom, he will be a formidable force to be reckoned with, I think, just for that simple reason that he looks the part of a president. And people might go, yeah, well, I want that after dealing with whatever the fuck Trump is. So I do think he will be a force to be reckoned with. But at the same time, I need people to remember, we need to marry the fighting spirit thing, which Gavin has, to his credit, but we need to marry that with a true left-wing ideology and zero corruption. So, in other words, to sum it up, the enemies in this moment are the fascists and the billionaires, and Newsom's only against one of those enemies, the fascists. He's not against the billionaires. And I think we can do better than him. But in terms of his record, he's sort of a mixed bag. The negative things, I think, are very negative. He literally vetoed a bill to do universal health care in California, which is like a sin in left-wing circles beyond comprehension. I mean, that's just evil to us. He vetoed a bill to get private equity out of healthcare, and a bill to crack down on pharmacy benefit managers. Those are literally the middlemen that raise your drug prices. So he protected private equity. He protected the pharmacy benefit managers, which are, just evil stuff, evil. Of course, California has crime issues and homelessness issues and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff there, but he also banned book bans when Republicans were banning books all over the place. He schooled DeSantis in that debate, which was great. He signed a bill for California to make their own insulin. That's probably the best thing he did. He stopped maternity wards from closing. He gave doxing victims the right to sue. He banned medical debt from credit reports. He did sectoral bargaining for all fast food workers in California. That's good. So his record is mixed, but bottom line, I think we can do better. We'll see. I mean, I'm not the one who ultimately makes the decision. It's going to be the Democratic voting base. But remember, guys, the best advice I could give you when it comes to looking at a candidate like Gavin Newsom is, I love the fighting spirit. I'm going to give him credit for the fighting spirit, and he stepped up in a way many other Democrats haven't. But remember, the crucial enemies are the fascists and the billionaires. He's only against one of them, the fascists. We really need somebody who's against fascists and billionaires. We really need somebody who's not corrupt, who's not going to do some piecemeal bullshit, some Obamacare, public option healthcare bullshit. We got to go for the whole thing. We got to go for universal healthcare. We got to shoot for the stars this time. Because what Trump is showing is a president really has unlimited fucking power. And Trump is abusing that to the high heavens because he's an evil guy with an evil ideology. What if we had somebody who used that power for good? And I don't think that person's going to be Gavin Newsom, but he will be a force to be reckoned with, and he will be running. So basically within a 2-day time span, y'all, we got validation that Kamala Harris is going to run in 2028 and Gavin Newsom is going to run in 2028. And I could see it in theory being either one of them, although I think Gavin is probably a bigger favorite than Kamala would be. But I think we might be going in a different direction altogether, if I'm being honest with you. And I certainly hope that the voters do that. And then finally, I'll end you with this. A new Trafalgar poll on the 2028 Democratic primary. AOC number 1 at 33%. Newsom number 2 at 25%. Kamala number 3 at 11%. Pete Buttigieg at 10%. Let me stop there for a second to point out that Pete Buttigieg was jealous as hell about Gavin Newsom. He was being interviewed by somebody, and they asked about Gavin's approach of like copying Trump's tweets. And Buttigieg was like, I'm trying to take everybody away from the drama. I'm trying to bring the temperature down. I'm trying to be the adult in the room. And like, I don't like that sort of drama type stuff. Very clear he was a little salty that Newsom has been getting all the positive press coverage over him copying Trump's tweets. So that was interesting. Little feud there brewing between Buttigieg and Newsom. Then you have Bashir's at 9%, Andy Bashir. Jon Stewart at 5%. Let's go, bro. Let's go. They spelled John wrong, but it's Jon. But let's do it, bro. I fucking love that. Stephen A. Smith at 3%. Fuck him. Shapiro all the way down at 2%. He really collapsed. And Wes Moore at 1%. I mean, my favorite of these is obviously Jon Stewart, but AOC close second, and the rest we don't even need to get into. But this is where we're at right now. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see. But Greasy Gavin, Slick Gavin, looks like he might throw his hat in the ring. All right, y'all. That's the show, man. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. Everybody, do me a big favor and go subscribe to Corin's World so you can see the live Kyle and Corin episodes every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You could also subscribe to this channel here. I'd really appreciate that. That helps big time in the algorithm. You could also support on Patreon if you're so inclined. Thank you to everybody who does. That link is below. You could also support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link is below as well. All right, guys. I love you all, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. Peace. Hey, y'all. Do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.